Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Reality Unloaded podcast. It's your girl, Keeks.
It's Lina D.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're going to be covering the challenge season 40 official cast and theme. We got the drop today. You know, some of us have been seeing the spoilers online, but we got the official cast list and official premiere date, which is August 14th. So be on the lookout and tune in with us. And you can do that by following us at Reality Unloaded Pod on Instagram and Reality Unloaded Podcast on TikTok, as well as like, share, comment, subscribe here in the YouTube verse. And we have a lot of things to review. So we're going to get right into the cast because it's a large cast, of course. And I am so happy that we got this. How are y'all feeling so far about the group photo? How y'all feeling about that?
I love it. Yes, all of this, correct. Like it really hypes me up for this season. Like I'm ready for all of it.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna get a lot of everything that we as the fans have always wanted, like from old school to new school and everything in between. Like I'm very excited.
Yes, I'm excited too. I kind of wish they just went with like all bright colors or something. Especially to let the promo picture is like purple or whatever. Like, where's the purple at? So I was just surprised that it kind of goes like from earth tones to like super bright summer colors. But hey, I'm loving it.
My only thing with this group picture is like CT kind of is like a sore to the eye a little bit. Like I feel like it's kind of cohesive, and my man's just like
right.
I wish he was a little more integrated to the picture.
Yeah, there's some people with some funny stances. Like I think Paulie also looks funny because he's just like, and it looks like he's wearing a belt with like basketball shorts on, but I don't know. It's the way they have it tucked in. But yeah, super excited. I was not expecting us to get the promo this early. I mean, we did hear that it was gonna drop in August, but again, very surprised that we got the promo this early. So we're gonna get into the cast group or era photos because the theme is Battle of the Eras. And for the Swifties out there, you know, that also watched the challenge, this was probably influenced by your girl. With the Eras tour and such. So yeah, Battle of the Eras. How are y'all liking that theme as well?
I think it is very smart of MTV to do because we had season 39, and I think a lot of them were hearing the feedback that the true fans were giving them, where it was just not the challenge season that we were used to, because it was just all brand new people, and the most excitement we had was seeing the people come back to compete against the current competitors during season 39. So I think it was a good and smart move on their part.
Yes,
I think the cast, I think the cast as a whole, they did a really good job at picking really key players from the different eras. There are definitely a few that are missing that I think we could have swapped out for some, especially for like maybe era 4, but we'll get there. But I think overall they did a really good job on like picking good people to represent each era, like key players.
And majority of this cast we've seen in the last few years. There's like a few people that haven't been on screen for a while. And we'll get to those, but for the most part, it's not like we haven't at least been exposed to their recent story, where they are in life, etc. So not entirely new fresh faces per se. And it just means that maybe we'll see these people later on in the future as well for other seasons to come. So starting with Era 1, which is season 1 and 10. Brandon, how do you feel about this photo overall?
I think the photo overall just lets us know all of these people have so much history together, because I think their group photo out of everyone's photos were the only ones where the people were smiling. And on top of that, they have a total of 20 wins, which is insane. That's like literally like I think the next era has like 12, if I'm not mistaken, but like almost double than that. So that within itself just shows you a lot. And I don't think any of these people have bad blood with each other, to be honest. So, and it shows.
What are your thoughts, Mina?
It gives me like real world road rules. Like it really gives me that era in time, which really makes sense, right? Because that's where most of that's where the cast came from. So it like perfect, basically. I'm just gonna say perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Like you said, there's history behind this era. We've seen these people time and time again. We have like, not saying parasocial relationships, some of us more than others, you know. But I think we just can back these people up. We've seen them in their rough times, their good seasons, whatever. Some more rough than others. Some we've seen way more than others, but still like overall appreciation for the foundation that created this show that we love to cover so much. But yeah, the 20 total wins, nuts. There's literally what CT has 5. We'll get into that. Darrell has 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel has a
Like,
few.
Rachel has a few. Brad has 1, right?
Derek has like 1 or 2. Yeah,
Mark
we'll get
has
into
2.
it.
Yeah, we're gonna. This is good. I'm so happy. Jody, come on. Jody,
so they
good.
all contribute. Like that's the nice thing. They all contribute.
Yeah.
I mean, with a select maybe 1 or 2 who don't, but overall, they all are kind of in there.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna start it off with Tina. Tina's done 8 challenges, 0 wins, but her most recent season was All Stars 4. And as we saw, you know, Tina's still struggling when it comes to her social game and being able to, you know, get through the house strategically. But aside from that, Tina's always been great entertainment. How y'all feel about Tina being back?
I'm excited. Like I always say that Tina is confessional gold. Like she always is herself. You never see Tina trying to be anybody else. And yeah, she doesn't have any wins, but I think because she has a lot of ties with some of the people that have been on All Stars 4 with her, she might be an asset in this game specifically.
And Tina's just comic relief, right? Like you need that comic relief. Like she's always going to say the craziest things. And I agree. I think she has some interpersonal relationships with some of the newer cast. So it's going to be really cool to see her dynamic between kind of her oldies and the newies. Like how is she going to kind of manage that?
I'm dying at you saying newies. Like
Not me not knowing what to say.
rookies?
I mean, cover it up, sis.
Or,
But damn.
or newbies.
But I was just like,
Newbies.
newbie?
Newbies is definitely what I wanted to say, but
I love it. Newies. I was just like, okay. I'm sorry. It just like caught my attention for a second. I did not mean to call you out like that. I apologize.
All good,
okay.
love. Call it
Next
out.
one is Katie. Katie has 11 challenges, 1 win, which is season 8, The Inferno. Most recent season was All Stars 2. And remember, we saw her arguing with Trishelle, well, however you want to call her. If y'all remember about their friendship. And she left pretty early. How do y'all feel about seeing Katie back?
So I know Katie is kind of like a fireball, and she's not afraid to speak her mind. So it's gonna be interesting, I guess, to see her with like, let's like say a Laurel, for example, from some of the newer eras where they always speak their mind. And I feel like Katie was one of the only or few people that spoke their mind from the girls. So it'll be interesting to see how going into this house that kind of like mixes. If it'll mix or if it'll be like water and oil.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Katie, like throughout her seasons and like challenges she's appeared on, you like see either two sides of her. Either she's like over it really early, kind of just gives up, she's done, or very like, okay, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And I'm going to continue to prove you wrong. So, because there's so many dynamics in the house, I'm intrigued to see which Katie we're going to get this season. So, yeah.
I agree. I'm excited to see Katie, though. I always like seeing Katie, regardless of how she does. If she quits however many daily challenges, like, I feel like she's the only one that TJ would let slide anyway, because he actually likes her. So, then we have Aneesa. Aneesa, 17 challenges, 0 wins. The most recent season was season 38, Ride or Dies, when she made it to the finals. I believe Aneesa has made it to at least 4 finals. So yes, Aneesa, I just
So
really,
here's
yeah.
the thing. Here's the thing with Anissa though, because I know we're like, oh, come on, Anissa, win already. She might be in a pretty place because she is, I think, one of the only, I would say, girls from Era One that has not only seen the 2 first eras, but also the last 4 eras, or at least most of era 4. But like she has a good standing, I think, with everyone. She doesn't have necessarily like bad blood with a lot of people, other than like maybe a few from like era 2. But I think overall, like she's a pretty respected player, so she might have an advantage.
So, my thought about Anissa is I think Anissa might be the one player that we can say has probably competed with every person on this cast because she has showed up in so many seasons, even more recent seasons. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just saying, I think she might have competed with at least almost everybody on this season. So she's going to have a lot of dynamic plays. And my thing with Anissa, my concern is I hope she doesn't overpromise and underdeliver. So that's my reservation with Anissa this season.
Yeah, definitely. I can understand that reservation. I do agree with you too, Brandon, that she is protected in a way, obviously with the Vacation Alliance, but in general, she does have good connections and she doesn't really have someone that there's going to be people that she butts heads with, but I think she does have the ability to maneuver in a way where she's pretty cordial with even those that aren't really fond of her. So,
and she also has her ride or die Jordan
and Tori
and Tori,
and
yeah,
Tori
and Devin and Josh.
When did Anissa and Devin
and Casey
close?
And Casey? Well,
I don't remember Anissa and Devin getting that close. Like I feel like it happened suddenly. Like all of a sudden they're like this buddy thing. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Well, because of the Vacation Alliance, because they would go on little vacations together and spend plenty of time and bond and all that stuff. So, according to them, from what we've seen, okay, we don't know these people, but it is what it is. Moving on from Anissa, best of luck to you, girl. I really do hope that you make it like to the end and actually win, because you've been out here and it's looking a little rough. All right, then there's Brad. Brad has 13 challenges, 1 win, which is season 20, Cutthroat, and most recent season was All Stars 4, where we did see him pretty much leave around the halfway point. What are y'all thoughts on Brad? Will he take it home this time?
I just hope whatever like was stopping him during All Stars 4, he just doesn't have for this season, because there was clearly like a roadblock in his head. And I know Brad's capabilities. Like I think from this era, he's probably one of the most fit guys on his team. So I just need him to actually believe that he is the Brad that we all know Brad to be.
What do you think, Keeks? What are your thoughts about Brad? Because I know you definitely had some words for All Stars 4.
I mean, for Brad, I like. It's not that you don't want to root for Brad. You do. He always has had that type of story. But I just feel like with Brad, it's kind of going on the same track as like Anissa, where like we're seeing them consistently, and I think that they should take a break before they come back, just to like really see what is it that they have to I guess improve on, and then come back. I just feel like a season break or two would be good. At least if you're gonna come back, then please take at least two seasons off. And granted, like, yeah, he's not on the flagship like that, but the fact that we've seen him for all of the All Stars, I think it's time to take a break.
I definitely agree with both of you. I do hope whatever distractions he was facing in All Stars 4, he comes ready to compete in this season.
Okay. Moving on from Brad, we're going to Derek K. Derek has done 13 challenges, 3 wins. Season 14, Inferno 3, season 16, The Island, season 18, The Ruins, and most recent season was All Stars 3, where he kind of like built this rivalry with Nehemiah, which I thought was also very random. But how do y'all feel about Derek K? Because Derek is also out here potting it up, doing his thing on Challenge Mania. So we do see him out there as well as building these bonds. How do you feel about Derek K, Lina?
I love Derek. I've always loved Derek from like old seasons. Derek is one who, in my opinion, has nothing to prove to the world because he has done it all and has proved what he can do against some of the biggest guys in the house. He has always held his own. So, I want Derek to continue to go far. I know he always talks about doing it for his son, so always has the best intentions and is truly such a great competitor. So it's always a pleasure to see Derek.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see Derek again. And just knowing Derek and his capabilities, again, like you mentioned, he's taken out some of the biggest guys. He is like the original Jordan, in my opinion, because he's always had the odds not on in his favor, and some way, somehow, he's always managed to persevere and push through. So I think, yeah, he's in era 1. He might not be as close with a lot of these people, like let's say Anissa, but I think he can make his way through where people don't want to mess with him. So I'm excited to see how he plays his game.
And I think I forgot who had pointed it out. They had mentioned like it makes sense for Derek to be on 40 because Derek was also on 10, he was on 20, and he was on 30. I said, oh, see, I would have never noticed that. Like, not off a rip anyway. But yes, I'm excited to see Derek. I mean, I think he always does fairly well. So moving on from Derek, we're going on to Mark, the Godfather, who's done 8 challenges, 2 wins, season 2, which was Real World versus Road Rules, and season 6, Battle of the Sexes, and then most recent season, All Stars 3.
Everyone loves a little Mark, right? A little Mark appearance is always a good time. This man always has the confidence of like Poseidon, like a Greek god or something. So let's do it, Mark.
Yeah, I agree. I think like Mark is the reason why we have All Stars. He was the one that went to the producers and said the people want the original stuff. So I think it was obvious that we should have him. And Mark, as much as he's been like entertainment, he's always been a good, palatable person. He's never done anything distasteful, in my opinion. So I'm excited to see
Remember when
him.
he did Jody? Remember when he did Jody like that? I mean, that's so long ago.
Oh, you reminded me. But he's older now.
And Robin, right? It was Robin and Jody
Oh,
going after it.
Robin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god. But
Yeah, I'm excited to see him though. I think he
yeah.
again should definitely be here.
Yes, he should be here. Point blank
He's a
period.
staple era one. Like you needed a Mark
You
for
needed
sure.
him here. He
For
should be there
sure.
anyway.
Absolutely.
And he's always outside too, like with the Challenge Mania people doing the appearances and stuff. So yeah. Another one that makes total sense to be here is Rachel. She's done 8 challenges, 2 wins, season 7, the Gauntlet, and season 17, Duel 2. And most recent season was All Stars 4. We saw her, she left a little bit too early in my liking, for my liking, on All Stars 4. But of course, so happy to see Rachel back. What are your thoughts on Rachel being back so soon too?
Yo, I don't know what it is, but after All Stars 4, I have developed such a deep obsession with Rachel. Like, that is my girl. I'm going to say it again. She reminds me of my dentist who I'm obsessed with. So, like, Rachel, sis, like, I want this win for you. She is the GOAT. And I'm going to be interested to see how her and Tina play off each other this season, if they kind of have each other's back, especially after what happened with All Stars 4. So
I think they'll always have each other's backs. I
Yeah,
think
me
I
too.
think their friendship transcends like what a lot of like the recent eras friendships are, where it's very fickle. They like have been friends for so many years at this point that like, oh, you were like you threw me in when you shouldn't have. I'm not gonna not invite you to Thanksgiving dinner, you know? So I think they'll be fine. But I think in terms of Rachel, of course, staple for the girls. I that was my first thought for someone that should be in era one. And I think it'll also be interesting just from her relationships with the people in era or not in era, but in All Stars 4. She has a lot of those going over to this season. So it'll be interesting to see how she kind of plays in what way with her game. So I'm excited to see her, and I know she's gonna kill it. And hopefully, if she goes into elimination, like it's not throwing darts.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Hopefully not. And I just think Rachel is gonna also be someone that can thrive really well because aside from her connections to the people from All Stars 4, with the challenge workout, she reconnected to so many people. And you see her like actively linking up with a lot of the challenge people from the newer eras as well. So again, gonna be very interesting to see how she plays. Hopefully you are there much longer, Rachel, because you deserve to have been there way longer. For All Stars 4. Okay, and of course, Big Daddy CT. Oh, CT, yes. CT is back, done 19 challenges, 5 wins. Season 24, season 29, season 34, season 36, season 37. My man was on a run. Okay, you hear me? And he just came back off of a Traders win. Tuh. Don't play with him. Don't play with CT. Most recent season, of course, was season 37, Spies, Lies, and Allies, with Amber being the female champ of that season. Right? Yes. I was like, hold on. Wait, no. Wasn't it Casey?
Oh no, it was
No,
Casey. Sorry,
double
double
we
agent.
weren't double
double
agents with
agent
Amber. Yes.
was
Sorry,
Amber.
Miss Casey Clark. I apologize for that error, but more sorry to Amber because she ate that up. So yes, shout out to CT. I'm so happy he's back. Yeah, back where you belong, baby.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get tired. And you would have asked me this like 10 years ago, I would have been like, oh my God, I can't stand CT. But CT is one of those people that has grown up on television and you've seen him mature. And yeah, he used to act a certain way back in the day, but now he's become such like a father figure in the house. Not much like a bananas, but just like someone wiser in my opinion.
He's
And
an
he
uncle.
knows. He's an uncle, yeah. He's like a wise uncle. Banana's like the uncle that visits like every other occasion. But he's like that wise uncle that really like gets these younger kids in order and really puts their eye on the prize. And I think that's what he needed when he was there back in the day. So I'm always excited to see him. I think he's amazing. And for him to come on some of the more recent challenges and still be a threat to all these kids, like, just shows you how good he is.
And the craziest thing is some of the more recent seasons that he won, he wasn't even in the best shape of his life. Like he actually wasn't in, he was like rocking dad bod and killing it. Like he's just a natural athlete. CT has switched over to a humble game with a little bit of spice because he still doesn't take shit from nobody. Like, you know, still put respect on his name, remember his name. But yeah, CT and Rachel are my goats. Like they are truly like they embody what the challenge is and has always been. So I can't wait. I really can't wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wonder if they're gonna let him skate to the final like they always do because they're too scared to send him in, and then he might come back for them. I don't know. Like I just feel like
they might not. They
you're
might
right.
not.
With this cast, maybe not, but most casts they do. All right, so moving on from CT, we're gonna go on to this is
Dreamy chocolate.
Darrell. Oh my god, what a beautiful man. Aside from a beautiful man, what a great challenger. 14 challenges down, 4 wins, season 7, the Gauntlet, season 8, Inferno, season 10, Inferno 2, season 12, Fresh Meat, with his actual partner, which we'll be talking about soon. And most recent season was the World Championship, but we also did get to see appearance of Darrell on season 39 as a champ that came in. And how are y'all feeling seeing Darrell back on the main flagship show?
He's another one. He is someone who, when he was younger, had more of a hot head, and when he got
Rightfully
older,
so,
he was
though.
just like, yes, 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 because yes, I know what you're talking about, and absolutely. But I think when he got older, he knew what the mission was. Go on here for my kids. I'm doing it for my kids. He's like the original Tony talking about his kids on the challenge. Like, and I think he is always just like such a good person to see on my screen when I watch the challenge.
I'm just gonna say this. Milk chocolate keeps getting better with age, baby. I mean, yes. That's all I gotta say.
What?
My favorite.
Okay. Yes, definitely drinking whatever he's drinking. I want to have to because he looks amazing. Been looking amazing. Also
He looks
somebody
the
that I feel like has
same.
no, yeah, literally. Also
I think
somebody
he
I
looks
feel like
better. Honestly, I think he looks
so?
better. Yeah,
I mean,
like when
he's
you
a
look,
beautiful man.
yeah, like I mean, he never looked bad, but definitely from his older season. Correct.
Aside from his good looks, though, like I do enjoy Darrell. He's another person whose confessionals are really funny, especially when he just gets to be authentic and they don't cut his confessionals out. I felt like we did get a good showing of him on World Championship, and I low-key wish like Kiki was on here too, because I feel like they're just not doing a good job to incorporate the international winners. I don't know what's going on with them. But I feel like Kiki would have been somebody really good and fresh to have on the main show.
So imagine if, because he already has Cara as his fresh meat 2 person, Aviv as his fresh meat 1 person. Imagine if they put Kiki there too. He would have been like,
And
mm-hmm.
he has a lot of people that he knows. Hopefully he survives it and like makes it far as well. Cause again, like I felt like him and Kiki's exit on the World Championship, it was just a little too early for me. And I felt like they could have really won. if they made it to the end. All right, so moving on, we got Jody. Jody's back after 5 challenges, 2 wins, season 11, the Gauntlet 2, and then season 13, the Duel. Most recent season was the World Championship as well, where she didn't really, honestly, Jody did what she could, and I'll give her that. Jody always ends up putting her best foot forward for a lot of things, and she's a good competitor.
Yeah, I feel like what I was gonna say is I know Jody to always be like never like nasty, always very competitive, and I think a lot of people, girls in particular, during her seasons were hating on her because they were like, "Oh, great, Jody wins again," but I think Jody just was good at stuff. So I think like in this season, what I'm looking for is something different from World Championship, where she was basically the like the person that was always put in. So I hope that doesn't happen to her again.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on from Jody, we have Eras too, and I'm gonna let Lina lead this one.
Ooh, thank you. So yeah, we are looking at Era 2 from seasons 11 to 20. We have a total of 14 wins with this group, and we have some heavy hitters. So definitely some household challenge names for you. So let's get into it. Derek C. So has 5 challenges under his belt, 0 wins. We saw him most recently dominating in All Stars 4. Keeks, what are you thinking about Derek?
I'm happy to see Derek back, and hopefully this is really your chance to make it to the final again, Derek. Like, honestly, you showed out this past season. You surprised a lot of people. I'm sure many are excited to see you back.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, agreed. I think his showing in All Stars 4 was a definitive placement in this era. So I'm excited.
All right. Next up, we have. Dum, 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 dum. We loving us some Derek. We just need to admire his cute little looks. Okay, we got some Nehemiah. So 7 challenges, 1 win. The Gauntlet 3, most recent season was All Stars 3. And again, I think Nehemiah is a staple. Brandon, what are you thinking about Nehemiah?
I'm excited to see Nehemiah. I feel like Nehemiah is always that person that has like good energy in the house. So I think that's needed upon like these crazy personalities. Someone with a level head. So I'm excited to see him, and I hope like he doesn't get the blank end of the stick like he usually does a lot of the time. So I hope he pulls through with this season.
I feel like Nehemiah always comes with something to prove, which I appreciate. Like, I feel like he doesn't get the flowers that he always deserves. What do you think, Keeks?
Yeah, I think he's done pretty well. He's improved a lot, especially on the All-Star series. So I do think that it'll be good. I wonder how he's gonna interact with Derek. Like, are they gonna go up against each other at any point? You know, I do hope that he's a little bit more protected with the fact that he's built bonds from being on the All-Star season more than once. But yeah, looking forward to seeing Nehemiah and how he does.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. Then we have, I have to say it, the legendary Bananas. 23 challenges, 7 wins. Season 16, The Island. Season 18, Ruins. 21, Rivals. 22, Bot Exes? I don't even know that one. 25, Free
Battle
Agents.
Battle of the
of the
Exes.
Oh, Battle of the
Sorry.
Exes. I was like, Battle of the, oh, damn, that's a good season too. Season 25, Free Agents, 28, Rivals 3, and 35, Total Madness. Recently saw him on the Challenge USA. Come on, y'all. We got to give it to Bananas. It would not be an Eras tour without my man. Like, we need him. He is a staple. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I'm dead at you saying an Eras tour because he be over here singing like he the challenge Taylor Swift on his little guitar.
Listen,
So-
they give him credit like he is. Production treats him like the Taylor Swift of our time, period.
Listen, I will say this. Bananas is like the glitter of freaking the challenge. Like you cannot get rid of it no matter how hard you try sometimes. Like it is going to stick. And he is always doing anything. Like he was just also on House of Villains. So we saw him there. He was on the Traders as well. And apparently he was supposed to be on the Traders again, but he didn't. So it's just interesting again that like we're seeing him not too long ago, whatever. I don't see him leaving the challenge season anytime soon. I feel like he's there for a while.
Honestly,
he always makes it far.
I feel like if TJ ever stopped hosting the challenge, Bananas would be the next host. Like, to be honest, like, Brandon, what are you thinking?
Rightfully so. I mean, I feel like if you're gonna do an Eras situation, you can't not have Bananas. Like, and I think that's known by all the fans. Like, you can't not have a CT, you can't not have a Banana. Like, these are just people that you have to have. And if you don't have it, then it's not really an Era season.
How are we saying bot X's? Hold on, let's like what? Next.
Yeah, what?
It's all right. Yeah, I was like, what is happening?
It's just like I never heard of that season.
I was like, what is this? No, thank you for saving me.
Good seeing you again, man. I'm sure you'll be there for a long time. Okay. Go ahead, Lina.
Oh, Kellyanne. 7 challenges, 0 wins, surprisingly. And most recent season, World Championship. Keeks, I know Kellyanne's your girl. How are we feeling about her return?
I love Kellyanne. I don't care what people say. Like, yes, she has had like a very roller coaster of a history or experience on this show. But I really hate the fact that Kellyanne is targeted. I really hope she's not targeted. We need her. She provides in any setting that she's in. For World Championship, you know, I felt like she was done dirty. She was tested a lot of times. She pretty much proved to everybody that she's a good competitor and she can hold her own, but they just kept testing her, man. Like it was like her back against the wall for no reason. I don't understand why she's such a target every time. But I do hope that she makes it far. Kellyanne, please stop. Leave her alone.
I love me some Kellyanne. I'll never forget when she was on the island and she was one of the only girls other than Evelyn that was going against Johnny, like, or Bananas that everyone knows from that. But like that within itself, I was like, oh, this girl, she could hold her own. Like, and since then, you've seen her like perform. You know, she has the capability to win. I just think people like to get her out early, and it's frustrating to see sometimes. And it's not only people; sometimes it's just herself, where she goes in a spiral and like, you know, is not competing to the capability she can. So.
And she has strategy. I think sometimes she just doesn't have the numbers. Like she's really not afraid to go against anybody. So yeah, we love us some Kellyanne. Ryan. So 7 challenges, 0 wins. Most recent season, we just saw him in All Stars 4. Ryan, I really want you to go far. I am always happy to see you and Derek kind of on the same season. I love how you guys kiki together. So Ryan is always like a fan fave to me. What are you feeling about it, Brandon?
Yeah, I think Ryan is set up nicely this season in particular because not only does he have Derek, he has a lot of people that he came with from All Stars 4. So I think those relationships that he's built then, and then also during the time that he was on the challenge back in the day, will kind of help him out in his favor. So I'm excited to see how he kind of uses that for his game.
For sure. How about you, Keeks?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that Ryan is back. I just do hope that he performs better on season 40. You know, I feel
All
like,
best of luck, Rye.
yeah, best of luck to you, boo. All right.
We
Yeah,
have
okay.
Aviv with one challenge, one win, season 12 fresh meat. And her last season was actually the season she won, fresh meat. So, what are we thinking, Keeks?
I mean, it is kind of badass to come in and just like one and done them. And like that's it. It took your first try to win, but I was very surprised by Aviv. I mean, yeah, like we've seen her hanging out with some of these people behind the scenes and everything, but again, still very surprised. I was like, okay, I guess we couldn't get anybody else, but hey, she was willing and she seems very fit, athletic. I mean, again, it's been so long since we've seen her. I'm just kind of surprised that she's there.
Yeah, I think like I don't. It's been so long that I don't really like remember what she brought to her season other than winning. But again, like she knows Darrell, so maybe we'll
Yeah,
see something in that relationship that'll help her, excel to the end.
for sure, for sure. Okay, next up we have Brandon. 6 challenges, 0 wins. Again, we recently saw him on All Stars 4 with a little mix up with Cara Maria, which cost him the elimination. Who knows? Cara Maria, did she strike? Anyway, Brandon, welcome back. Let's see what you got. Brandon, why don't you talk about Brandon? Let's just kind of go there.
I hope Brandon doesn't make the same mistake that he did before. I hope this time he
Oh,
goes
here
in.
we
No, no,
go.
no. It's not here we go. I hope he goes in this time and realizes, okay, this person has my back. Let me work with this person as opposed to pulling the trigger second episode. Like, don't do anything too early on. Use the resources that you have around you and then make it to the end. Be smart with your choices.
Fair.
Brandon said, put some respect on your name, Brandon. Okay. That's what he essentially said. So yeah, hopefully you do better this season. Hopefully you make it further considering you came into the game. You came into All Stars 4, you built those bonds. So, like, use it to your advantage. You know, like, this is the time to really socialize and put it into high gear. You cannot be playing safe anymore. Not you. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Then we have Emily. 3 challenges, 1 win, season 24 Rivals 2. We recently saw her on Champs versus Stars 1. So what are we thinking about Emily being back? Especially on like the flagship. What are you thinking, Keeks? Oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead,
go ahead,
Brandon.
Brandon. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say I'm excited to see, and a girl that is like physically feared by the guys. So like her coming back is something good for the era, especially era 2. But I hope that she like, not to sound mean, but I hope she does something that puts her on the pedestal that people put her on. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's very fair. Yeah, she really is
There
like
you go.
regarded as like the top of the top, and
I don't know
it's
why.
interesting. Yeah.
I don't know why. Because the most memorable thing this girl has ever done was something,
That isn't
not
something you want to be memorable
something
for.
that I can judge her character on. And yeah, granted, yeah, she may have apologized for it, but that was wild, point blank, period. We're not about to justify it. That was her most memorable thing on this damn show.
Fair.
For a lot of us viewers that may,
Yeah.
I just feel like a lot of the fans let that slide. And I'm sorry, I'm not about to applaud somebody like that. And yes, again, I do think for somebody that has only 1 win and the Champs versus Stars win as well or whatever, I just think that people do a little too much for Emily. I think the way that people compare, like Teresa is an even better competitor than Emily, in my opinion. So I just feel like y'all do too much for Miss Emily. And yeah, she could, but let's see how she do this season because it's been a while, and she also does not have a strong social game. So, nothing against her. I do think that she can compete with the most athletic of the cast, but again, y'all do too much for Miss Emily.
Okay, agreed. Okay, now we have Miss Cara Maria. So, one of the iconic females that we know now for the challenge, 15 challenges, 2 wins, bloodlines, vendetta. 2 wins, really?
Well, she counts champs versus pros, so 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, we just saw her kind of center attention on All Stars 4. Brandon, I'm gonna give you this because I know that's your girl, but all I have to say is Cara. Yeah. Okay. Actually, go, Brandon. I'm gonna give it to you.
Well, I think again, we're having an era season, right? You cannot have an era season without Cara Maria. She's
For
like the Johnny
sure.
Banana. She's like the Rachel.
For
She's like
sure.
the CT. Like she is a staple in the show. She
For sure.
has had a storyline within the show where she went from the underdog to now to the most hated, and then like to someone that people are rooting for again. So I think for someone to have that arc, similar to Bananas, is very important in the show. And you know, we've all grown up with her, so I'm excited to see her. I'm excited to see how she plays this season specifically, because she knows both the new people and the old people. So it'll be exciting to see.
I hope she comes with a different strategy than she did with All Stars 4. You know, I know All Stars 4, she was all about the money, not the social game, which again, we saw kind of hurt her in the elimination. I hope Cara Maria can come and play a different game, take more ownership. Again, I love me some Cara Maria, but I also got notes. That's all I'm going to say. Go ahead, Keeks.
I mean, if the people in the house are not being like,
I believe
annoying,
I said go ahead, Keeks.
No, and just hating for no reason, then maybe she'll come with a different social game. If they're open their arms to her and not talk like this behind her back, then maybe she'll be open. But that's just the
Brandon,
thought.
can I say one thing? I really hope behind my back you come for anybody who comes for me as hard as you come for Cara Maria. Like, I have seen this man defend her to the end of the world. So,
and here's the thing. What did I say? We also seen her be the most hated because during that season, I could not stand this girl. But again, I've seen the mean girl antics within the house, and then I've heard the people talk about it after the house. So I can believe it and see it. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Again, I'm just saying you set an expectation on what you can do. Yes.
I got your back, don't worry.
Well, clearly you are the theme, the topic, and everything in between, because look at how they just talked about you for a good 5 minutes or whatever. If you were not on this show, they would have had to cancel it. Point blank period. If you were not on this series, on this season, and if it wasn't for something that you declined yourself,
yeah,
like, I'm sorry, they should have been doing everything in their power to ensure that you were on this.
Correct.
So yes, I'm glad that they brought you in through All Stars 4 again. But if you were not going to be on 40, I don't know who the hell was going to take your place. It would have had to have been somebody very shocking, you know? But yes. Okay, so now we have
Miss Laurel. 8 challenges, 2 wins, season 25 free agents, All Stars 4. We just saw her on All Stars 4. Please, Laurel, give us your old, like, competitive spirit. Nicole is not on this season, so I'm happy that there is going to be that split. I'm hoping she's focusing on her game again. Keeks, what do you think about Laurel being back from right after an All-Stars win?
Yeah, come back and defend your win, girl.
Yeah.
As your reigning champ, like, do what you got to do. There's a lot of All-Stars people. Yes, thankfully, Nicole is not on here. And her and Nicole are not even in good speaking terms. So I wasn't even going to worry about that. But the fact that Nicole not being there, there's no distractions. There's no, manipulation tactics being used against whoever, whatever the case may be regarding their relationship. But I do hope that she has this like fire under her ass after winning All-Stars 4. And, like Laurel did fairly well with the dailies on on All-Stars 4. So, I mean, I'm expecting her to at least win a few this upcoming season. And again, another person similar to like Cara that is held in such high regard. Definitely not as big of the face, but definitely gets brought up in the conversation as like top 10. She's always in the top 10, top whatever. So she should be here, point blank, period.
For sure. Brandon, anything to add?
Yeah, I just hope Laurel goes in there and plays to win for Laurel's game, and is not focused on everybody else this season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. I'm going to hand it over to you, B, to introduce us to Era 3.
All right. So I'd like to refer to this as the last era that we had like really, really, really staple people in the franchise. So I'm excited. It's Era 3 from season 21 to season 30. And within this group, we have a total of 8 wins. But I feel like this is the group that has a lot of, they're not winners, but a lot of fan favorites. So let's get into it. So first up, we have Tori. So she has 9 challenges under her belt. She has 1 win, being more recently season 38, which is Ride or Dies, where she won with Devin. And then her most recent season we've seen her on was the Challenge USA 2. And I know Keeks loves her, so I will pass it over to you.
Oh, my Pisces twin, Anyway, Tori, I mean, you managed to make it far every season, so I'm expecting the same. You will make it far because that's your usual. You are very protected by your vacation alliance and whoever else, especially that Jordan is there. Y'all have this ex-fiance thing going on, which is like trauma bonding, but okay. And then cool party.
Oh,
as Adore Delana would say.
Okay, y'all hate on Tori, but she does make it far, not only because she's protected. Tori definitely is a competitor. Like, she brings it every season. You have to give her that credit. So it's not like she is literally a layover that's brought to the final. She always makes it to the final. She always delivers. Granted, she might not have won many, but I think that Tori delivers, and people do not sleep on her, but I think people kind of discredit her just because production loves her so much. But I still think she's a great competitor. Again, just like you said about Bananas, just like you said about Cara, just like you said about CT, it would not be an Era's tour. I keep saying tour. It would not be an Era's season without Tori.
I agree. I agree with that. I can give her that. But I also hope production doesn't give her advantages, because there's other vegetarians on cast, like Nehemiah, who production forced to eat meat. But,
not okay.
I just think level the playing field for everybody's dietary restrictions, if that's the case. Don't give unfair advantages to other people. And I feel like it's been talked about plenty of times with Tori. So hopefully that's not the case this season. But go ahead, Brandon. I'm so sorry. I had to bring that up.
Yes. I think definitely Era 3. We couldn't have an Era 3 without Tori being involved. I do think a lot of people regard her as like, oh, I want to run a final with this girl and put her on a pedestal. I would like to see her not be afraid to go down there and do what she has to do rather than be protected by the numbers that she has in a house. Because a lot of the times in the recent seasons, she has numbers. So
Okay, but
I
it's a
agree. I agree with
strategy.
both of you. I agree with both of you. I agree with both of you.
But again, I think her being protected is a strategy. But I mean, listen, we'll get into it this season because I think
I mean,
we're
Cara
gonna
winning
butt
the
heads throughout
superstar
the
was a
season.
strategy too. But
Okay.
all right,
Strategy,
moving
smategy,
on.
whatever.
Next.
Moving on to
Amanda.
one of my other favorites, Amanda. So she has 7 challenges under her belt. She has 0 wins, but I will always say that she would have won the season she was paired up with Zach, but we all know what happened. And then her most recent season that we've seen her on was the Challenge USA 2. So I know personally for me, I'm very excited to see Amanda. I've always loved Amanda. And even though Lina, Keeks, I'm a Cara Maria fan, I know they don't like each other, they hate each other. I've always loved Amanda. And I think she offers the very opposite of Tori, where she just speaks her mind. She might not be this girl that everyone wants to work with, but she is great television. So
Well,
I'm
she's the
interested.
girl that no one wants to work with, but she is definitely good for drama. She is
She's
very
very
smart.
smart.
She's very smart. I will give her that. Again, she needs to be here. Like she absolutely needs to be here because she has had absolutely staple moments in the challenge. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
ready for her to speak her mind.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always excited to see Amanda. I love her commentary. She's a very blunt. She gets on people's nerves, and she's like she can nag people down. I don't know. I just feel like she has no problem being the villain, and I love when people lean into that role. I feel like there are several people on cast that try to play this good guy thing, and it's not for them. Like, lean into the villain role. Like, you would actually excel much more and be more palatable or likable if you leaned into it instead of acting like some fake person with this facade on. So yeah, I love that for Amanda. I just hate the fact that she's always targeted. So I just feel like hopefully her era does well, so they're not constantly putting her down into eliminations, or she's getting chosen to go into eliminations.
Absolutely. Moving on to the next person, we have our beloved Leroy. We all know who Leroy is. He's done 13 challenges, 0 wins so far. I know it's so annoying. He always comes this close and doesn't get it. Hopefully, this will be different. And the most recent season we've seen him on is All Stars 4.
Yeah.
We know his gameplay that he did on All Stars 4. He likes to lay low a lot and doesn't like to stir up the house or do anything controversial. What are your guys' thoughts? Or because I know we covered him for All Stars 4. What do you hope that he does differently this season?
Performs better
I
in the dailies, protects himself because
I
he wasn't performing as well.
I want him to take risks. I want him to go after people that he typically will not go after. I think I want him to not play the nice guy or the sidelines. Um, and I hope we see his first win for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This would be iconic first win for him, actually.
Yeah, super great win for him. I hope it happens for you, Lee. Like, you deserve
Agreed.
that.
Yeah, for real.
Absolutely. All right. Next up, we have Janae. So she's done 10 challenges, right? And in the beginning, we haven't seen Janae perform to the best of her abilities. But when she went on All Stars, she absolutely murdered it. She did All Stars 2 and All Stars 3 and won both. So then it solidified her as someone that I definitely see was needed in this era. And the most recent season she's been on was the Challenge USA 2. So, how are you guys feeling about her being on this season?
You know, I think Janae has really proven who she is now that she's leaned into being a mom, being a strong woman. I think she found her power after becoming a mom, which I love for her. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for her in this season. And I know she has a lot of mixed friendships also, like relationships that were great that are not so great anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how she manages her social game throughout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that. And I also think that Janae is somebody, she's a great like all-stars representative, especially that she's done so well. But she has also gotten like the short end of the stick lately or gotten the boot early. So I'm hoping that turns around for her because it just feels like when it comes to like the other main shows, she just does not make it far. Like she had the issue with the world championship where her time was cut very early. So yeah, that's just where I'm at with John A. But let's see, girl, you gotta do something, and hopefully not something shady to Kellyanne again.
Oh
Yeah, I feel like she's getting the bananas treatment of all stars.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay.
All right, moving on to Naya. So she's done 4 challenges. She's had 0 wins, but she's had a lot of memorable elimination rounds. And we all know her to be a very, very strong competitor. And her most recent season she's been on was World Championship. So, Keeks, how are you feeling about Naya being on this season, especially because she's going to have not only Leroy, who's her ex, but also Jordan, who she's had like a little fling with in one of the more
Mm-hmm.
recent seasons.
Yeah, and in general, like she knows a lot of people in this house. Like she gets along with a lot of this group from all of the eras. Honestly, they do have some sort of relationship with her, and she's memorable. Like you know her from her original Real World season. You know her from her seasons on the show, whether they are far in between. Um, and granted, like she hasn't performed as best to her abilities, or at least we haven't seen that. But she is a strong person in general, and people are going to be intimidated going against her if they have to during elimination. I'm excited that she has some support in the house. Again, she has good relationships. The fact that she's been on All Stars, right? She did an All Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and World Champ. Yeah, she's good.
And she's the little firecracker. Like, honestly, my biggest moment with Naya is when she ate out Nani. Like,
Oh
I
my god.
love that moment. Like, I will replay that if I'm upset, if I'm ready to kill someone, I'm gonna play that moment, like everything.
You're not gonna
So
do anything like that, right?
I don't know, Brandon, keep pissing me off, and
Uh,
I'll do it right on the podcast.
I
oh,
mean,
So
we would not be friends if we did not disagree. Let's be
right,
for real.
no,
right.
of course.
We need
But
somebody
yeah,
to
no,
bring us back to earth.
yeah, correct. So yeah,
Specifically,
no,
Lina.
Naya. Thank you. Real recognizes real.
No. I'm saying
So
you need me to bring you down to earth.
Oh my god.
next, I'm gonna let that go
Well,
because my
Naya,
Anyway,
viewers
we're
are
happy to see you.
we're happy to see
okay.
Naya.
Okay,
Before my
I got your
co-hosts
number,
end up
honey.
ending their friendship over y'all people, let's get to the next person. Okay.
All right, you know what time it is?
Tony time.
Yeah, it's Tony time. So we have Tony, 7 challenges, 0 wins, unfortunately, but he's come close. And I think his most recent season was All Stars 4, where it kind of got cut short. He had to go home early, which I feel happens to him a lot, unfortunately, either through like fighting or behavior, like whatever. But I hope this season, when he comes on, he really focuses in on what the overall goal is, because I really do think he can pull a win. So, what are your guys' thoughts on Tony?
Yeah,
Tony,
go ahead,
go ahead.
Keeks. Tony has become one of those players that I've come to cherish. Like, he was someone that I've developed a liking to. And again, he's another player that we know does it for his daughters. So, Tony, best of luck. Again, he definitely has had some important challenge moments. We need Tony in an Eras season for sure.
I mean, it's good to see you, Tony. Yeah, your time was cut short on All Stars 4. You deserve to be here anyway. You got reintroduced, and yeah, it's good to see you again. So, and what Lina said, you do deserve to be here. You did make your mark with your Tony time and everything else you did on your own time. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely Tony time when the show comes on, so I'm excited. And next up, we have Avery. So Avery was just recently on All Stars 4. We covered a lot of her. She's done 3 challenges, and unfortunately, no wins. I don't know how Avery is gonna fare in this house. If I'm being honest, I know she has Naya and Jordan from her original season. I think it was Real World Portland, if I'm not mistaken. And I know she got in the infamous fight with Naya, where Naya, like, yeah. Uh, so it'll be interesting. Maybe that will all be resolved and they'll have each other's backs towards the end. But I don't know. Like, I saw her in the All Stars 4 season, and I didn't really see much of a social game with her. But what do you think, Keeks? Do you think like she'll change it around this season?
She better. She better. Because I was real bored. All I know is that Avery was linked up to Adam, and we got some words out of her, some confessionals, but it was like the same thing. Like, she was too scared to make a move. She had plenty of chances to make big moves. And I just feel like she played it. I mean, she made it to the end, so I'll give her that. But still, I just feel like she could have made it further if she wasn't too safe with it. And I feel like this is a huge cast, and hopefully she gets to survive. But like riding the middle, and how is it? What do they call them? From Big Brother? How do I? It's something that they call them. Whatever. They don't do anything. So I just feel like, this is not a layup. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah. I just feel like she doesn't do enough. Like, and she's not gonna be able to hide like that on this season. What are you thinking, Lina?
No, I nothing to add. I completely agree with Keeks.
Oh, right. Well, hopefully Avery turns it around. And speaking of turning it around, it is Devin. So Devin has 1 challenge win, and then he also most recently was on season 38 of Ride or Dies. And sorry, that's a typo. He's done more than 1 challenge, but we've all seen Devin before. So how are you guys feeling about Devin being on here? I know personally, I'm excited. I feel like he's more of a recent version of Wes, in my opinion, where he plays psychological games with the people in the house. But how do you guys feel?
Devin is here or there for me. Honestly, like sometimes he kind of annoys me more than anything, to be honest. Like, I get he tries to do these like mind games. To me, it's just like, dude, just play. Like, you don't run the house. He always thinks he runs the house. So honestly, for my mental health, I hope Devin is digestible this season. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I agree. Devin is not that funny to me. I mean, people say that he was like really funny on his original MTV show, and like, cool, kudos to you for being funny on a show that does not have anything to do with the freaking challenge. But I just feel like he's a tryhard sometimes when it comes to the jokes. Like, just like, okay. So that's Devin, but that's another one that's gonna make it far. And he's done like 8, 9, 10 seasons already.
I think it was
Something like
10. I think I missed the 0, I think. I'm pretty sure.
oh, okay. Something like that. But yeah, Devin. Welcome back, I guess.
Yeah. Someone who's everyone's favorite is definitely Corey. He's done 10 challenges. He has unfortunately 0 wins, and his most recent season that he's been on is the Challenge USA 2. I think Corey is someone that has definitely grown throughout his time. He's very similar to a Tony, where they used to just worry about hookups and girls back in the day, and then you see him come on the show and grow into someone that is seen as like a true competitor. So I'm really excited to see what he does.
Agreed. Like Corey always will have my heart. I don't care how messy he is. That man is fine. But I want him to get the win because he plays with so much heart, man. Like him and Nelson, they've always played with so much damn heart. So I want Corey to get this win. He deserves this win. Another key staple to the challenge, period.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody that does very well, or at least like fares well. He makes it a decently far. And he performed pretty well in his last season, which was the Challenge USA 2. He came in second place. So I'm just hoping that Corey, again, you make it far this time. I know you've been really wanting the win. He's like somebody else that I root for, just like Leroy, where like if they turn out to be the winner, I'm always okay by that, you know? So moving on to the next person. The next person is Jordan. Okay, Jordan, the man. You cannot do this without Jordan. Another big player, challenger. He's probably the best male challenge or GOAT, as most think. He's done 9 challenges, 4 wins. Season 26, Battle of the Exes 2. Season 30,
Wait,
Dirty 30.
Isn't it Bots Exes too? No, just kidding. Go ahead.
Season 34, Wild 2 and World Championship. And again, he won the World Championship. So again, a very like high rated player, if not like S tier GOAT level for most. Definitely on the top 10 list, top 5, top 3. It's Jordan. I mean, how could you not?
I mean, the fact that he has half of the total wins of the group, like, come on, the whole group has 8. He has 4. Like, of course, yeah. That's all I have to. That's the only input I needed to put. Jordan, let's go.
Yeah. So moving on from Jordan, we're going to Eras 4, season 31 to 39, and they have a total of 2 wins. I mean, no shocker there. And I want to say give it up to the female champs because it's the 2 women holding it down with the wins. Which I mean, duh. But we're gonna start it off with Paulie. And Paulie has done 4 challenges, 0 wins. Most recent challenge season was the Challenge USA 2 on CBS, which made sense since he came from CBS originally. I mean, Paulie's here. Hopefully, Paulie doesn't go home early either because he has not been doing as well. And his time was cut very short. What are you guys thinking? What about you, Lina?
I like Paulie. I'm interested to see how him and Cara Maria are going to work together, being a couple. I know he hasn't always had the best relationships with different people in the house, but he's worked on mending a lot of relationships when he was last on season. So, yeah, it's going to be good. Paulie's a good competitor, so I'm ready to see him bring it.
Yeah, I think like Paulie has always been an actual competitor, especially in this specific era, as opposed to a lot of the other people that we've seen. He's definitely one of those top tier competitors that's not afraid to go down against like the biggest and baddest people of each era. So I'm excited to see Paulie. I know that he's done sports growing up, so he has that competitive edge, and he always brings it. Plus, he brings drama as well.
Yes. And Paulie has done a good job at staying connected too. And we saw him like mend his rivalry with Bananas. So he does have that bond as well. And again, like he's been seen hanging out with multiple challengers off and on the season. So looking forward to your return, Paulie. Hopefully it goes well this time on the actual MTV show. Moving on, we're going to Theo. Theo has 3 challenges, 0 wins, and most recent season was the World Championship, where he was paired up with Sarah. Was it Sarah?
I cannot remember. I think it was Sarah.
I think it was Sarah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
He was paired up with Sarah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Theo's back. I mean, hopefully you're not as boring as you were on the World Championship. You only had one little cute moment, and that was with, not even cute, but like messy moment with Danny, where you and Danny were going back and forth. But aside from that, like we got nothing out of you. Not even the cast storyline helped. So like,
yeah, I was. To be honest, I'm very surprised that he got casted for this. And I like Theo, but I think Theo hasn't done anything recently that has solidified him to be included in Era 4, in my opinion. So hopefully he changes my mind this season and like does something that's like, oh, okay, now I know that he's supposed to be here.
Anything else? No? All right, let's move on. Okay, Casey. I mean, I'll give you this, Casey. You got 5 challenges down. You got 1 win, which is season 37, Spies, Lies, and Allies. And your most recent season was the World Championship. I will say World Championship was probably the most fun I've ever seen you have, or the most personality I ever got out of you. Hopefully we see more of that, Casey, because whatever we've been getting on the flagship show, irrelevant, boring, sleepy.
Correct.
You know the quote by Abby Lee Miller? Yeah. Boring, sleep. Yeah, that's how I be feeling. Like, definitely IKEA furniture. I'm sorry. Like, I hope you do more. Truthfully.
She just needs to have some type of gameplay on her own. Like, stop being protected. You're a strong competitor, Casey. You're not a layup. Like, play the game. Like, stand up, take the risks. Like,
But she's playing the same game she's played on Big Brother. This has always been Casey. Like, she's not like gonna give you the razzle dazzle of reality TV. She's just gonna go and she's gonna probably end up winning from laying low.
Well,
I will say this. She did peep, the way that like Jordan and Tori were protecting each other over her, and she did call that out on the World Championship. I do remember that. And again, I do feel like her partnership kind of forced her to be the social player. So again, I mean, I don't know how close her relationships are with the rest of this group. I know Josh is obviously on here with her, but yeah, I just hope that Casey turns it up a notch. Like, please because that's like, she's another one that has to like defend her win, because really people say that it should have went to Tori. Moving on to Michelle. Michelle's back here representing Survivor. What happened? Oh, you cheering her on?
I'm cheering her on. I want you to pass it to Lina, just like I did with Tori.
Yes. So 4 challenges, 0 wins. Most recent season was season 39, Battle for a New Champion. Lina, give us your authentic, your true, honest thoughts and opinion on Michelle.
I'm going to keep it PG-13 because you don't want my honest opinion. It's not cute and it's definitely not for all ears. But hi, okay. Yeah, Michelle is back. We saw her in season 39. Everyone credits her for being the mastermind of that season. Okay, I'll give her credit for that, but only because of all of the shitty players that were there. Like, nobody played the game. So yeah, you're going to be a mastermind when you have one brain cell, because no one else seemed to have any. So I'm just going to do that. everyone followed honey, everyone followed suit in season 39,
They
period.
they
Like,
definitely they definitely did, but because they're all followers, and Michelle was able to peep that and say, you know what? And
so you
even
don't,
Jay in his head thought he was like also running it. No, it was Michelle, and that's what
but
I'm gonna give her credit on. I think
but
she
you
is a
don't.
great.
Who do you give credit to? How do you give
I
credit
give
when
it to
everyone is,
Michelle.
but how when everyone is a follower? Like if you have someone like
Because she was
someone
able to
Cara
get them to
Maria,
follow. She was able to get them to follow her. Someone that has the ability to get, yes, because she was able to make them comfortable with her enough for them to be like, okay, I'm willing to do what you want me to do. She, as much as you don't like her, Lina, she is one of the girls of recent in this era, I think, that has the most capability of actually pulling a win without actually being like considered like strong like a Jenny or a Casey, like because her mind is strong. And she's a good swimmer. And she
I
has good endurance as well. So
agree.
like you can't discredit her for that stuff. I'm sorry.
I
Like,
can do anything and anything I want to do, and I absolutely discredit her.
and I'll be honest with you. I didn't like her in season 39 because I just hated that everyone was following everything that she said. I wanted her out. But I'm not gonna discredit her as a player. I think she's a good recent
Okay,
player.
okay, okay. And let's see how good of a player she is in this season if she isn't protected by everyone and anybody that
We
she's supposed
will. We
to.
will. And if she's protected, it's for a reason. It's because she's doing what she needs to do.
Moving on to Horacio. So Horacio has done two challenges, 0 wins. Most recent season was season 39, Battle for a New Champion. They made it pretty far. They're like becoming the one of the it couples of the challenge as he is going through his relationship with Nerys. I'm not surprised that Horacio's back. Horacio has the performance abilities to be on this show. He is definitely feared by even some of the OGs. You know, a lot of people don't want to go against him. They're pretty much setting him up to be like this new Jordan to take over. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see Horacio. I just think that he's boring. He plays it safe, but he's a nice guy. And I do think that we got a little bit of a different side of him on season 39. So let's hope that, you know, he just continues to shine. Hopefully Nerys rubs off on him and he becomes a little bit more honest and blunt and direct with some of the things that he does. What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, I agree. I want him to come in here owning his confidence, and not that he doesn't own it, but I want him to like talk his whatever, you know? Like I
Yeah,
want him to
talk
be
your shit.
like,
Talk your
I'm
shit.
I'm the best of this era and you should be scared of me. Period. Not like willing to like, oh, I want to compete and go. No, like give us some drama.
Yes, welcome back, Boppy. I do hope that he comes and, you know, he always competes. That's a given. You're not like, I don't expect anything less. I do hope he's worked on his social game for sure. And I hope that he branches out and connects with people from other eras and uses that to his advantage. Because I think there's a lot of people he doesn't know. And maybe that will kind of work in his favor.
Moving on, we got Olivia. So Olivia's back with 2 challenges, 0 wins. Most recent season, season 39, Battle for a New Champion. Olivia, hopefully, you know, I mean, you're gonna get carried to the end because you're cool and friendly with the Vacation Alliance, or you're low key like Vacation Alliance adjacent now at this point. Um, you know, hopefully you don't be on that fraudulent shit because you was a little sus last season to me. To me, you know, there were just some things that you did that I questioned, especially after the reunion. It was a little weird, but hopefully y'all have worked that out. And hopefully we can see you, you know, make smarter game moves this season.
I
Any
mean,
thoughts, guys?
but aside from her behavior, she's a good competitor. So
Yes.
like I think in her original season that she was on, I think it was Ride or Dies with Horacio. I actually ended up liking her a lot. Um, and then we got to 39, and she was, I feel, playing the actual game. Um, so I mean, I don't know. I don't mind Olivia. I think she's a good addition to this era, and she might be the one that's needed to like pull the moves that a lot of them might be afraid to make. To be honest,
Hopefully, Lena.
Yeah, I think Olivia's a good competitor.
Mhm.
So no, nothing really more to add. Let's see what she's gonna bring this season.
Okay, so we're moving on to Josh. Josh has done 6 challenges, 0 wins. Most recent season was the Challenge USA 2. I mean, I'm not surprised that Josh is on here. Actually, no, I'm a little surprised. I would have thought Fessy would have been on before Josh. But I do think that Josh has a better social game. Clearly, Josh has been working on their fitness, has built a good rapport with a lot of the OGs as well, and kind of has been like reworking his image and reputation. I feel like, I don't know. What do you think?
I think Josh has
um,
gotten better season after season. Like I have to give him that. Like he definitely comes back better every time. Um so he does still rely a lot on the people he knows and people protecting him. He's a hothead, so he like tends to give you drama that is good. So it makes sense that Josh is here.
I think Josh has become a lot more palatable than he used to be. Because before I could not. Sorry, Josh, I could not stand you. Like, but now I think you've like calmed down a little bit and you're more likable in a sense where you're not doing um everything sporadically like you've done in the past. So I hope that he uses that to his advantage now and realizes that he's not necessarily a target in the game, that he is a well liked person and he can bring that forward.
Agreed, agreed. Okay, moving on from Josh, we got Nariz. 2 challenges, 0 wins. Most recent season, season 39. Battle for a new champion. It really should have 1 win. That really should be a 1 win.
She is the
Because
champion of season 39.
yeah,
Let's be real.
honestly, who knows about that vampire? Where has he been? In the darkness, not in the light, nothing. He did got no recognition. The reunion and the second half of the season was pretty much centered around Nerys anyway. So I'm excited that she's back. I mean, it makes sense, especially with Horacio being there, the way that things ended with Michelle and Olivia. It just makes sense for her to be there. And then we'll also see that Kylan's there. So hopefully she makes it far as well. And since she did make it far on 39, it makes sense. What do you think, Lena?
I think Nerys is the total package. Like I think the credit that people give Michelle should be given to Nerys because I'm sorry, with season 39, Nerys did what Michelle couldn't do. The one time Michelle was in an elimination challenge, she lost and went home. So enough said. But yes, Nerys, girl, you're here. I'm ready for you. Step up, show them what people sleep on you sometimes for. Because she's that girl, period.
Yeah, I think they're both like great in their own aspects. I think they both do amazing in their own lanes, and I think you want that. You want a Michelle and you want an Aris. You want two people that play different games that you can still root for. And I don't think this era would have. I think this era specifically, those are the two most relevant girls that they have. So
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then now we have Jenny West, 2 challenges, 1 win, which was season 35 Total Madness. Most recent season was her winning season, which is insane. We really have not seen Jenny for a minute. She hasn't been invited to anything. They literally paid her dust. I was even surprised that she was on here because I was like, oh, y'all like her again? Shocker.
yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mm, I hope she gives me. It's kind of like Theo.
Something.
Like, give me something. Like, I know you're strong, but like you also need to have like something that's entertaining because again, this is reality TV. So we want strong competitors, but we want people that's also going to give us like a show. So I'm not surprised she hasn't been called back in a while. But maybe let's see. Maybe she might prove me wrong. But I'm excited to see her because I know she's always been a strong competitor.
Mm-hmm. Lena?
Yeah, nothing to add. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if this is the last one, but we have Kylan, 2 challenges, 0 wins. Recent season was season 39, Battle for a New Champion. And Kylan, honestly, like from the clips or from what I've been seeing, people did not really like you on Big Brother, but they do enjoy you on the challenge. I do think that you have like a hunger that and a fire under your ass that we don't really see much anymore because people are just coming on here for exposure. Whereas like Kylan is somebody that truly wants to win. So I do appreciate that. And he does have an admiration or like respect for a lot of the OGs as well. I do hope that this is not the case where like Kylan and Horacio are pretty much defending Era 4 because I hate that they're like always the ones that have to go in. They went in so many times. Like, how many eliminations has Kylan done? Like, it's a lot for
Basically, the whole
somebody that's
season.
Enough.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the whole season. But I think
Yeah.
similar to Josh, like he was a little bit more palatable on Big Brother than Josh was for me. But I think him coming onto the challenge, he was more in his element. It was more competition based, and him fighting for his life every week was just like something that he made a regular. And I think you need those people as well that thrive in like those competition settings where they have to basically they're backed in a corner and they have to figure out how to win. And I think he does that really, really well. So I'm excited to see him because I think on both of the challenges that he's been on, he's done amazing.
Mm-hmm. Lena?
I agree. I like Highland. I think that he doesn't follow the crowd, like he thinks for himself for sure, which is really refreshing, especially with a lot of these new era people coming in and just like getting into an alliance, just sticking and wanting to be carried to the final. He goes in, he competes, he's good physically, he's smart, he's strategic. He's really the full package. And he does play a social game, which is different than Horacio, right? Like you can compare them athletic wise, but Kylan actually plays a social game. So
Mm-hmm. And Kylan
I
always
want to
brings the
say,
drama somehow. Like
yeah,
he's
That's
always
what I
hooking
was
up with
gonna say
somebody or
too.
he can be
Hmm.
messy too. But yeah, I just feel like Kylan kind of gives off like that early challenge essence sometimes where I'm just like, bro, what is happening now? What are you doing now? But yeah, all right, shout out to Kylan. So we want to go into like surprising snubs from like certain eras that we're surprised that we obviously did not see, or maybe they most likely got the call back, but they were not put on for whatever reason, or maybe they declined. So like Veronica, um, I'm surprised by it. But at the same time, I'm okay with her not being there.
Yeah,
Susie,
same.
yeah,
I think
Susie,
it's I think it's a
yeah, go
very
ahead.
competitive season, and I think that's
Hmm.
why Veronica might have not gotten the call.
I think she got the call. I think she declined.
Mm,
I
okay.
think she always gets the call. Susie, I know is another one. I know that there's been issues like with her and Sarah going on because her and Sarah are still very close friends. And they pretty much said if like one doesn't do it, the other one won't. I'm not sure if that was the case here. But I think Sarah is somebody else. We'll probably see that Sarah should have been on or at least gotten the call. Landon, I mean, he's just not gonna do something for this long of filming. Coral, duh. Oh my god, if we were to get Coral, I would
Like,
literally
come
pass
on,
out.
come
I would
on.
pass out.
She doesn't even need to be like physically the best of the era, but just I know she will bring us.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I don't want to talk on you, Anissa, but I know she will give us more than Anissa will give us in terms of entertainment. You know, like
I need her. I need her. I need her on the show. Period. Coral, please,
or not
do
even Anissa,
Traitors.
anyone from season
Do
or
House of
from era
Villains.
one. Yeah, just
Something.
something.
We need her. Yeah, for sure.
And she's friends with a lot of these people still. Like, she's still cool with them. Oh my God. And then we have Alton. Alton, he did very well on his All-Star season. I just feel like Alton, yeah, I agree. He should definitely be on here as well. I was surprised. But maybe he doesn't want to do it. I was surprised, like, maybe he would have done it if Hisela did it, because apparently, like, they dated. I don't know if they still are together. But
all right, I just need it's for money. You don't need to do it with
right.
somebody. Yeah, just go do it. Like,
I just feel like they feel more comfortable now. Like, they want to make sure that they enjoy their time while they're there, since it's long filming.
Even MJ from Era One, I'm surprised they didn't get was snubbed too.
so I think MJ actually was on era two, if I'm not mistaken. Because he came on after Landon, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, to me, MJ wasn't the greatest until he went to like he was good back then, but he was just a bigger guy.
Matthew McConaughey of the challenge.
Yeah, he just
exactly.
But when he came onto All Stars, that's when he was actually showing out, in my opinion.
Yeah, he did all. Yeah, I agree with that. And also maybe like with the whole rumors that went around about him and Janae, maybe that's also why he has distanced himself. And I think he also got injured. Like, he was severely injured after All Stars. So then we're going on to Eras 2. Speaking on Eras 2, we have Wes, who, like, why would you retire on the Challenge USA? Like, what the hell is your problem? Tyler, Paula, Evelyn, Teresa, and Sarah.
This is like everyone here. I'm like,
they're all iconic. See, I have to say, Era 2 definitely has some of the most iconic challenge players. Like,
we also grew up with Era 2, so I think it's a little different.
That makes sense.
But they, I feel like, had not only the personalities but the athletic abilities. Once the challenge became like a lot harder, physically, so I think a lot of them were like the total packages. So I was sad to see, or not to see, a few of them.
I'll even go as far like Jen, the one that supports.
Right, you're going far. You're going far.
You're reaching, Keeks.
You're reaching.
I think so. Well, no, I mean, like, in terms of entertainment, like, I do think that she's somebody that could be good for entertainment, not in terms of like physical abilities. But I always thought
Jen was carried by her group of people around her.
Oh yeah.
And then when she got to the final, she didn't know what to do. So
I agree with that. I'm not even gonna disagree with that at all. But I did find her a little bit entertaining. Okay, so then we're going to Era 3 snubs. We got Hunter, Ashley, Jenna, Zach. I think the main snub is Ashley. For me.
No, Jenna is a snub.
Jenna too. Jenna too. And you can't even discount Zach either.
And Zach.
And
no,
Hunter
I know,
too,
but like
I
wouldn't expect, like, I guess because I just already know like Zach and Jenna are not gonna come back. At least I don't see them coming back anytime soon. Nor do I see.
But Hunter. you were rather an Avery over.
Oh
no, and a Naya over an Ashley.
Needs to.
I feel like
Ashley needs to replace Avery. Point blank.
I feel like both of them need to replace both of those girls, because I think they've had more of a presence on the challenge than both of them have. And I like those two girls, but I just think if we're talking eras, we're talking about the people that had a.
Who are you saying Jenna would replace? I'm sorry?
Naya.
Like Naya, for example. I think, like, if we're talking about people that haven't won, Jenna should be there over Avery and Naya. Even like a Kayla, if we're gonna talk. Too. So like,
absolutely not. I don't want her ever. She's so.
I mean, but she got to the point where she annoyed you, so she was important
I get
to the
it, but
era.
no, I'm good. I would rather them.
Honestly, another person, I don't think she's on the list, but Nani, I think she would have been era
Yes,
2.
that was the other
Yeah.
person that I.
Like,
Sorry,
I'm
guys, I missed her.
surprised.
Nani should have been on
Yeah,
there too.
she should have been on era 2,
Mhm.
but Nani, like, come on, like that's another Tori. Like, that's another Tori, another Rachel. Like, Nani for the challenge. So I'm surprised she didn't come back.
Yeah, but she did
Yeah.
say she wanted to take a break, so I respect that too. And she probably
For
didn't
sure.
want to be in the predicament like where her and Casey are both playing. Like maybe it's too much on their relationship.
Maybe.
Okay, so moving on to era 4, surprising snubs. We have Cam, Kyle, Joss, Amber. I mean Cam and Amber, they're busy being moms. But hopefully we'll see them soon again as like they're recovering from their pregnancies. Kyle, I don't know if we'll ever see him back anytime soon because he's also busy being a dad. And then Joss is too busy like being like this fitness like influencer. Like, yeah.
I
He's like,
will
I'm
say,
too busy for that.
I will say, if Era 4 had these 4 people replacing a lot of the people that are there in Era 4, I'm not going to name specific
Mm-hmm.
names. I think they would have been such a more well-rounded and stronger team because
Oh, for sure.
these people have like social games with a lot of the older people, whereas I feel like they're just a young bunch currently.
Yeah.
They're mostly from the last few seasons. Like if half of them are at least for the last few seasons, where these people are much more established in their challenge careers, and like you said, have like those relationships. And you have Cam who would be down to do strategy. And yeah, I definitely think that they would have been a good group of people to include. Do you have anybody else that you would include in this list? This era for Lina?
Oh,
Big
of course I'm
T.
blanking. No. I mean, Big T is iconic for the challenge, but no.
And I love Big T, but no.
Yeah.
Okay, but Big T is gonna give me way more entertainment than Casey and Jenny. I'm sorry.
Oh, for sure.
I'll give me her. Like, I'm sorry.
Actually, give me Bailey. Give me Bailey with Cam.
Even
Bailey.
Like,
Yeah.
Give me
just give me
Cam. Because then
somebody.
you have KC, and then KC has to work with them, and then Amber as well. Like, because they have like their little tension or whatever. And Amber, I think, would get along very well with Cam, or already does with Cam and Bailey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know anybody else.
Yeah, I feel like if Amber was on Era 4, which I don't understand why she's not, I don't know. I feel like they be snubbing Amber sometimes, and I don't get it. But
I think she was maybe she was like still recovering from the baby.
pregnancy,
It could be that.
probably. But I really, really, really want a season with Amber, Ashley, and Cara because I feel like if all 3 of them were there, they would somehow make an alliance and be from each era, and that would be like really, really good.
I need Davon.
Oh, Davon, yes, Davon,
Good.
absolutely.
I need Davon.
Oh, and you know who else?
Who?
No, go ahead.
No. I think I know who you're gonna say.
I was gonna say Georgia too. Georgia was really good.
But yeah, I think that ship
He's
has
not
sailed.
like someone that I would say like has to be at the top. But competitive wise, I would think of Georgia too.
And I know some of y'all controversial people that love to straddle the fence or like be devil's advocate. I know y'all thinking, how could they not mention Camilla? We don't want her ass on there. Well, I don't want her ass on there. Y'all may be entertained by her antics or whatever, but I do not need to see that racist lady on there. Sorry, not sorry.
So I agree with you in terms of like her past behavior, why she would not be on the season, but Camilla is definitely a challenge staple. So had she not, made her comments, shown her Yeah, but I definitely think Camilla
I agree with
is.
you, Lena, because I was thinking the same thing just because I was rewatching a lot of the old seasons. Um, I agree with you. I think Camilla was definitely a staple. Do I ever think she'll be back on? No. But like I definitely
Yeah,
think she was someone that if she was here and she didn't have her whole controversy, it would make sense.
yeah, definitely. I get that as well. Okay, so Lena had to drop off, but she'll be back hopefully before we end this. So yeah, that's the official cast of the Challenge 40. I do want to like go back to the original pictures again. So just a reminder, okay, this is Eras 4, season 31 to 39. Okay, in the pink, solid little crew. Let's see how y'all do.
I actually
And
also like
then
that they gave them pink. I don't think we've ever seen like guys wearing pink before.
I can't even remember, honestly. I wouldn't be able to tell you. Era 3, season 21, 30. You know, there's a few like people I would just erase off of this. Um, but definitely 8 total wins. Okay. And then we're going to Era 2. And Era 2's 14 total wins. Era 2 season 11 to 20. Okay, a good looking group. I know people have been wondering like how the heck is Derek and Janae not in the same era, but I'm pretty sure Derek premiered 19, right? And then Janae did 20, 21, or he did 20
Well,
and then
go
she did
back.
21.
What was his? Oh, I didn't write the first seasons, but I think yes, you're correct.
Yeah, I think that's what
Yes,
it was, like 20 and then 21. So that's why they just like cut off each other. But it would have been interesting.
yes.
But it's kind of also good that like they're separated because they could protect each other on that part. Um, and then we're going to Era One, the OGs, the literally the best cast or ever photo for real. They look great. And yeah, season through 10.
I
Who do you
mean,
think is
what were you gonna ask?
I was gonna ask, who is your era to beat?
I hands down, and I might be biased because I grew up with them. I love Era One. Don't get me wrong, but I know the challenge because of Era Two. Like those people are my people. Like, granted, I can replace a few of those people with a few other people. But I think overall, like those people in general are just they know how to not only be like physically great, but they also know how to play the mental game to the level of like the era 4 people and the era 3 people. So I think they'll hold their own because again, they're always the people that the era 3 and 4 people always went out first. So
Mm-hmm.
what about you, Lena? What
Who do
era
you
are you thinking is the strongest?
I think overall the strongest is going to be Era 2. I think
I
they're
said the
going
same.
to have the most strategic game, and they all and significant. Most of them are a physical threat. So, and I think they all have relationships in the house. So, yeah, I go with Era 2 for sure.
mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Era 2 and Era 3 are definitely gonna have their backs against the wall a lot. They're gonna have to be defending their era a lot. People should try to get them into eliminations as much as they can.
As early as
Um,
possible.
yeah,
I
but then
really hope Era 4 and Era 1 work
like
together. I
team
think
up.
that is the smartest thing. If they don't do that, they're stupid. Because that's the smartest
Yeah,
thing to do. Like, because you already know Era 2 and Era 3 are gonna work together because they've done so many seasons together. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know, that's just like a no-brainer to me.
yeah, and I just want to touch on something which might be a spoiler. So if you don't want to listen to anything related to what the potential theme or rules may be, we're gonna touch on it right now, really quickly before we go. Um, So apparently there's like karma points included. So of course there's like the physical part of the game, but apparently there is something that has to do with karma points, or like obviously your social game there's like a point system for it. And then it says like the season format is the teams portion. This is from GamerVeb. If y'all don't know GamerVeb, follow them. Please follow them to stay up to date with the challenge stuff. If you're okay with spoilers, again, get out of here if you don't want to hear this. I'm warning you. Okay. So it says teams portion. The elimination winner chooses who the targets are from each era, 2 from each. The winning team's targets are captains, and the losing team's targets go straight into elimination. The winning team captains then vote a target pair for one of the 2 remaining eras to go into elimination. And then individual portion is that once the game became individual, because it will be, the last place goes into elimination, and the person who wins gets to pick between the people that the last elimination winner targeted.
Damn, so how many hours are these episodes gonna be?
I would assume at least like an hour flat, like with the
No, because
maybe
if
like
you're
50
talking about like, oh, this one chooses this one to go on elimination, they go in, and then this one chooses this one to go on elimination, they choose that one. Like, how many eliminations is that?
it's a good amount.
Right.
So
So,
maybe
I
like
think
hour
we
and
might
a
be
half,
getting
Maybe an hour and a half.
I
But this is
hope
on MTV.
they did an
Well,
hour and
maybe.
a half.
Yeah, maybe an
And I
hour and a
was
half. Yeah.
for 39, they did an hour and a half, and I was
Yeah.
dying.
And we were bored as hell. Oh my god. Well, hopefully it's jam-packed with like good moments and it doesn't feel like a freaking drag watching it, because season 39, like they played so safe, and like we've already touched on, Shorty was running the house.
Mhm.
And it was very boring seeing them just like not even they didn't even win money for themselves. Like that was crazy to me. I said, do y'all want to win? Like I'm confused. But yeah, that is apparently the season format. I mean, we will see. They always change things up. We don't know for sure or for certain what the format will be until it's time. And again, the Challenge 40 Battle of the Arrows premieres on August 14th on a Wednesday at 8 p.m. on MTV. I'm excited. I'm glad that they dropped this for us, gave us something to talk about. I cannot believe we've been doing this. We've been pulling through y'all for y'all to make
And
sure we cover
we'll
this.
be one of the first to cover it. So
yes. And I'm sure some people have covered before, but yes, this is the official cast list of the challenge season 40 Battle of the Eras. And be on the lookout to see us cover more of the season upcoming and the speculated All-Stars 5 cast as well. And I'm sure that'll drop very soon, maybe in the new year, next year it'll probably drop. But that's all for now. Thank you for joining us. Please hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to follow us at Reality Unloaded Pod on Instagram, and make sure to follow us on at Reality Unloaded Podcast on TikTok. My God, we've been yapping away chatty patties today. Thanks for hanging in with us. And if you made it to this end, you're great. You're real. And you really fuck with us. So shout outs to y'all. Thanks to my co-host for holding it down. We did that. We ate. Anyways, everybody have a great night. Bye, guys.
Bye.